Nightfall.
In the dream, you are falling, lost in the listening distance, as dark locks in. Nightfall. Good evening. Tonight's story takes place on the road to nowhere, Nevada. It has to do with people who are homesick for themselves. Based on a short story by Anthony Boucher and dramatized for radio by Len Peterson. The play is called A Bite. There it is.
What'd you see? What?
Nothing. Shadow flickering. Corner of my eye.
Hey, this ain't Vietnam, Huey Blair. A gook behind every bush and blade of grass. War's over. This is your United States, the great American desert.
I'm not going crazy. Don't give me that look, Corey.
The heat, Huey boy. Too much sun. It for the shade, huh?
I heard wild creatures. Saw them almost. Something wild.
Man, it was heavy weather, this. With my old flying buddy, Huey the Screwy. Yeah, the clunk got him out here to these Utah foothills. Adobe country. No man's desert. Huey's into old bones and dinosaurs. But before all that, Army hero Blair went as crazy as the war in Vietnam. Got all twisted up. His friend's the enemy his friends. And then who's you too? The shrink stateside shrunk his mind back to what's considered normal for middle Americans. But Huey was still nuts enough to get a college degree. Paleontology. Petrified life science. But the way that kid dipsy-doodled over them Viet Cong jungles kept me, rear gunner Corey, in one piece. So I owe him all these years since. I got a franchise here in the desert. Filling station. On the outskirts of Oasis. About as close as you can get to nowhere, Nevada. And one day I was going through my Vietnam souvenirs and thought of Huey Blair. I sent him a postcard. How goes it, Lieutenant? And I mentioned the huge, you wouldn't believe petrified bones we got out here that appear then disappear in these rocky, sand-blown foothills. And he gets out here almost before the postcard gets to him. But not before a gale's covered them old bones again and made a liar out of me.
Why didn't you pound in markers, Corey?
Thought I could trust the sand and wind for a few days. Nothing's where it was.
And the bones blew away?
No, they're anchored in rock.
Come on, Corey. Where are the bloody bones?
Well, we never did find the bones I seen. Wind found them for us one howler of a night. But the wind didn't blow away them weird sounds and shadows.
Hear that?
No. But see that?
Yeah. Stegosaur bones.
What bones?
Stegosaur. Small-headed, hunchback, spike-tailed, plant-eating dinosaur. See these? Double row of upright plates along the back for defense.
Hey, am I still stringing you?
No, Corey. You delivered.
What do you figure he'd weigh in at?
25 tons. With a brain the size of a fox terrier or a military commander. 2.5 ounces. Corey, there's a good chance we've got a complete skeleton. If the stern end is down under the sand back there.
Start digging to see?
No, I'll cover it up.
What? You don't want this critter?
An army glider down the valley there. It's too close. If they spot this flying low, it's goodbye bones. Souvenir hunters will come swarming all over.
And that'll be the end of 25 tons of Stegosaur.
Scratches on these bones.
Huh?
Teeth marks. I've never seen that. And those marks were made before the bones turned to stone.
Huh. What do you make of it?
Ever see teeth marks like that?
Well, I'm no dentist.
Not from any animal that exists today. Powerful bite, but not a large creature. Killer or scavenger? Corey, this could be the biggest discovery in paleontology in 100 years.
What?
These teeth marks. The great mystery. What killed off the dinosaurs? Maybe this is the first clue. Let's grab a shovel. Cover the jewels. Jewels? Oh, shall I hope diamonds will be worth looking for here. Shovel, Corey. Leave this beast inch by inch. Keep the rest covered up. Till I'm ready to call my gang from the museum to come and fetch him. What in creation is making those sounds?
There it is!
What? Where?
Gone. It's gone.
So you're seeing it too?
I don't know if I really saw anything. Maybe. Maybe not.
Getting you, Sarge? Yeah. It's getting you.
Up in the foothills with Huey the Screwy, helping him cover and uncover his 25-ton baby. I got to hearing what he heard and seeing what he saw. But back in town or at the filling station, I knew it was Bullswall, Huey's psycho imagination. He worked hard at the old bones business, though, making drawings, impressions, and taking snapshots.
Corey, I can't thank you enough for tipping me off on the Stegosaur, and I think I found some fragments of a Podokesaurus and the Saltopithecus.
What?
Mean, ferocious little beasts.
They made the bites on your big bones?
No, their bites are too small.
Yeah, but these drawings of them, Army glider planes in the valley, not much connection with the old bones business.
Just doodling. I always doodle.
And, these cages?
Even with field glasses, I can't make out what's in those cages. The Army's packing them into gliders and taking off. With what? Birds? Animals?
What do you care, Huey? We're out of that.
Something's going on.
Oh, stick to your bones.
Well, I am sticking. They're not going anywhere without me.
Well, good. You're the doctor.
Hey, keep quiet. What? They're sniffing around again.
So let them. Let them! They ain't brontosauruses, and they ain't tyrannosauruses. See? I've been boning up on your monsters. Don't let them buzz and chirp. So what?
More than buzzing and chirping now. Barking, howling.
I don't hear nothing. That's not part of the territory.
Liar. Look behind those rocks. Carcasses of birds, rabbits, rodents.
So what?
They're torn apart, devoured by powerful jaws and sharp teeth.
Of what?
Creatures that don't exist to you.
Huey the Screwy. You can see, hear anything in the desert. Stop working like a dog. It's hard enough to melt a snake. There's always the cactus bar over an oasis.
What? Oh. I kind of thirsty at that.
Huey, I've heard talk.
Talk?
Yeah, local folks wondering who is that camped up in the foothills near the old Carker place. Is he on the run, hiding out? You're sure to get snoopers snooping on you if you don't stop acting like a fugitive.
You got it right. I am on the run. I am a fugitive.
Yes, sir. First mark on the house, after that I overcharge.
Set him up, Sid. This is Hugh Blair.
Hey.
Yeah, set him up was in our war, too. Was a barkeep. Just doing what he's doing now.
Decorated 6 times for it. Yeah. 6 bloody medals.
Corey, guess what I ran into up in the hills?
Living, breathing Stegosaurus.
The buzzing and squeaking and barking got really bad after you left this afternoon. I felt I was being spied on. Some guy. Tanned, full beard, pack-sack like a prospector.
Blair?
He knows my name.
Hugh Blair. Lieutenant?
Morgan. Morgan from Vietnam. Morgan, the desk-flying major. If Morgan had $1 for every pointless death, theirs and ours, to his credit, he'd be a rich man. Morgan, the last straw in the Vietnam manure pile. Only my straitjacket saved Morgan from a lethal blast of napalm.
Lieutenant Blair.
That's right, Major.
How have you been?
Fine. Just fine.
No more, trouble? No more,
Crazies?
Well, I didn't mean that.
The crazies, all gone, Major.
You're well again, Blair. Good.
Fit, Major. Except for a spot on one lung. That's why I'm hanging out here. This hot, dry air is supposed to clear me up.
Is that your tent? Just over the ridge?
Yeah. How about yourself? I thought you were still in the Army.
No. Back to my real trade. Prospecting.
Find anything?
Paid to keep my mouth shut.
Sure.
Sketch pad you got there?
Yes.
Going arty on us, Blair?
Can't just sit around. I'd go nuts.
Is that a glider you're drawing?
In landscapes, mostly. In rocks, foothills.
Does the glider field down there interest you, Blair?
Well, not especially.
Have you figured out their function? The gliders, I mean.
No.
Well, any new tricks since we were nervous in the service?
You reckon so?
Let me see your sketches.
Not worth looking at.
Let me see them. Show me.
Sorry, Morgan. You're not my superior officer now.
Just an old buddy. Trying to keep you out of trouble.
Yeah?
See you around. Clear up that spot on your lung, Blair. And, don't get any more.
Corey, what did the son of a bitch mean by that? To cover up how much I was thrown meeting up with him, I invited Morgan to visit me tomorrow in my tent. I got rum, I told him, if rum's still his drink. Dark rum.
It is.
It is?
Yeah, Morgan's never going to change.
There's no bloody chance encounter.
Well, thought he's prospecting for minerals. Real estate, maybe?
Cooking up conflict, where there's peace and quiet.
Still beating the bushes for spies and traitors.
Yeah, but the Army shrinks have me labeled a psycho and Morgan a patriot. Nothing kinky in the way he pushed us in Vietnam into more and more outrageous sacrifices.
Yes, he said himself, to test our loyalties.
Definitely pathological, our getting tired of spraying Mekong peasants with bullets and napalm.
He sure made a special target of you, Huey the Screwy.
Took some hunting to find me here. Who knows except you?
The FBI, CIA, Army, and the entire credit network. They're never going to stop loving you, Huey boy.
Morgan's madness drove me into the nuttiness of wasting 3 hours on my way here, burying my Stegosaur sketches. Just because of my doodles of those Army gliders. Scared of being taken for a spy.
Easy now, easy.
Morgan was filing to CIA all the time in Vietnam.
What's his job now? To keep a buffer zone between that glider field and honest men? Playing prospector. That's his cover?
Keep out. No trespassing. The signs are all over.
Huh. Sure way to draw the snoopers.
Well, as John Wayne would say, there ain't enough room in these here foothills for me and Morgan.
Hey, how am I going to defuse you, Lieutenant? Come on, meet the boys, the locals. Take your mind off Morgan. The best poker players in these parts. That's Fred, Joe, Art, P.W., and old Jake.
Yeah.
This flying buddy of mine from Nam, Hugh Blair. He's got a lung trouble, so we come to God's country for a cure.
Yeah, we seen you was camping up near the Carker place. Don't know as that's healthy, though.
Carker place?
Adobe hut, just one hill over from that tent of yours now. You keep clear of it.
Why?
Oh, I ain't saying.
Spill it, old Jake.
No, sirree.
Well, tell him, Jake. Warn him.
I told him.
Tell him so he'll take it serious. Don't be such a cuss.
Well, they bite.
What bite?
Well, I ain't said no more. Not a word more.
A war vet hero from Nam, here for his health. Do him a favor. He did you one.
Oh, how do you getting that?
Weren't for him, you'd be sitting playing poker with the inscrutable Viet Cong.
Set 'em up, said I don't want nothing from the Carker place coming after me worse than Viet Cong.
I'll tell you, the Carkers were homesteaders. Poor place for a homestead, sure enough.
There are a lot of kids and grandkids.
Oh, they could raise on that scrub land.
Yeah, sure. So what's up there on the Carker place?
Oh, well, no ghosts, if that's what tourists are looking for.
Something worse.
About as hard to spot as ghosts, but real, whatever they are.
And lately, coming down into town, making trouble. They're brown and naked and sneaky and make noises like no animal you ever heard.
Corey and I have heard them.
Maybe we have, maybe we haven't.
That's about all anybody can say.
And they bite.
They sure do.
Like critters from long ago, and not of these parts.
Some say it's the Carkers, third, fourth generation.
Yeah, original Carkers, Bert and Sarah, I knew them. Went crazy trying to make a go of homesteading on that godforsaken land of Cain. Ended up eating their own kin. And others.
It's only rumors, Jake.
Rumors? That's God's truth. And they're still at it.
There was Indians before them. They got starved out, too.
Enough folks from around here disappeared way back. And travelers that stopped at the Carker place just vanished.
The army's come in twice to clean the place out.
Didn't work.
Good for bar business, though. Jake, tell him about your dog.
No.
Yeah. Right here in Cactus Bar, one of those things. Ed up, old Jake's dog. And nobody noticed till we heard the thing crack the leg bones with its teeth.
Yeah. Noted. Best dog I ever...
The thing had finished most of the flesh and was cracking the bones for the marrow. When we jumped to go look,
it skidded out before we could lay a hand on it.
Well, who'd have dared? And lose 3 fingers like Father Kelly?
But I seen it. Wasn't like no creature I ever saw before. Like something small and brown and leathery from 1,000,000 years ago.
Worth the price of admission, Hugh? Cactus Bar?
Some yarns. Unbelievable. But not impossible. Makes me think of the creatures that did in the dinosaurs. Small, quick, ferocious.
Yeah?
They bite. Now, how many times did we hear that tonight? And they meant bite. The teeth marks on my Stegosaur aren't tender little nibbles. How's that for full moon talk, Corey?
Makes a great story. Anyway, I'm glad to see you in such a good humor for a change.
Maybe the Army has discovered those prehistoric creatures and is trapping them. The Army will breed them and turn them loose on the enemy.
Great sport is moon talk, Huey.
It all comes together, huh? Those cages.
For the no-see-em critters? Another airborne weapon?
Is that why Morgan came snooping? Because he thinks I'm onto a top secret.
Why don't you ask him?
If he comes for the rum I offered him. Yeah, I'll put it to him all right.
Lieutenant Hugh Blair of the Fighting Army Air Corps.
Yes, sir, Major Morgan.
As you were. Easy. Well, I've come for that free shot of rum you promised.
Yes, sir.
What are you, up to with that machete?
Oh, just clearing sage. For the hell of it. So much of what we do, Major, is just for the hell of it.
Yeah. Seems, yeah. Sort of got the habit in the Domino War. Read any books on the war since coming back?
Few.
A man fights first, then finds out after what for.
What have you found out, Major?
Something. Not so different from what you were screaming about when you went, mental. And we shipped you home.
Is that so, Major?
We treated you rough. But you were rough, too.
Yeah.
Can we bury the hatchet?
Sure.
Drink to it?
Sure. Why not? Bury the hatchet. He's so friendly, I know he's about to fix me. His way in Vietnam. Nice, friendly, then the smash. Bury the hatchet. Will a machete do, Major?
What?
War reparations. To pay back what we did on your orders. For the hell of it.
What are you talking about?
What we learned in the Domino War.
War? The war's over.
And I beat you to the jump.
What are you doing with that machete?
Burying the hatchet, Major. In your... Just carrying out orders, sir. Oh, the creatures that bite. Smelling blood. Meat. A meal. Should I leave you here, Major? Let the no-see-ums pick you clean? No. I'll give you a decent burial. In the haunted hut. Nobody will go snooping there. And if they do, and find your gnawed bones, they'll blame the Carker monsters. Major, you're my farewell to Vietnam.
The adobe hut. What was in it when I got there? Bits of crude furniture and cinders in the fireplace. And near it, a tiny rough figure of clay and straw, half human, half lizard. And below that, a hollowed stone covered with dried blood and fresh. The rest of what happened we'll have to piece together. Huey scrawled words on the wall of the hut in wet clay and blood.
You Carkers sure knew how to keep snoopers out of this hut. A mummified woman? Skin and bone. Eyelids shut tight. Nose sunk in. Lips curled back from the teeth. Am I imagining? Her chest rising and falling? Breathing? Alive? This Carker? Sleeping? A creature that bites?
Hugh grabs his machete. Makes for the door. No burying Morgan now.
Oh, no! No!
Across the desert, a brown, skinny creature, savage woman, comes hurrying to the hut. Hewitt turns back inside. Drops the machete. The mummy sinks her sharp teeth into Blair's left hand and holds on.
Let go!
Hugh grabs the machete again and slashes the carcass. Severs the dry, bloodless body from the head. But the creature's teeth stay locked in his hand.
Let go!
He can't rip the clenched teeth loose with his free hand.
Bloody creature!
Or with his own teeth savagely bite. Crazed by the pain, he swings the machete to free himself. And his hand and the gripping white teeth of the thing that bites tumble to the floor beside Morgan.
Free!
Again, he makes for the door, but The female creature hurries toward him. He moves back into the hut.
I can't beat her. Outside, running. Ambush her. Inside the door.
But the blood flowing from his gaping wrist into the hollowed stone so weakens him, he falls to his knees. The woman creature fills the doorway, but comes no further. She waits for his spurting blood to fill the hollow stone.
The way you stand there, creature, woman, I know you've waited many times for the stone to fill with warm, red blood.
You have just heard They Bite, the Anthony Boucher short story dramatized for this series by Len Peterson. Featured tonight were John Stalker as Corey and Robert Haley as Hugh Blair. You also heard David Calderisi as Morgan, Ken James as Set-em-up Sid, and Mavor Moore as Old Jake. Our recording engineer this week is Tom Shipton, with sound effects by Matt Wilcott. The series story editor is Earl Toppings, with the production assistance of Nancy McElveen. Nightfall is produced and directed for CBC Radio by Bill Howell. And now, here's a final word from your host.
Hello again. Next week's Nightfall features a new adaptation of a story that has always had a special place in my heart.
Whenever his pale blue eye fell on me, my blood ran cold. And so by degrees, very gradually, I made up my mind to take the life of the old man, and thus rid myself of the eye forever. It was an evil eye, but Weatherby was very kind to me. No one had been this kind. It was too much to bear. You fancy me mad. Mad men know nothing. But you should have seen how wisely I proceeded, with what caution, with what foresight, with what dissimulation I went to work.
Edgar Allan Poe's The Telltale Heart, adapted for radio by Len Peterson and starring Richard Monette. Next week on Nightfall. Until then, careful of the edge.